Hello again, everybody. Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Wednesday, the 1st of February. These are the charts of the day. Well, a rip-roaring rally on Wall Street after the FOMC raised a quarter, and comments from Powell were, I would have to say, gentle. They weren't hawkish, and that's the key to what triggered the big rally. Stocks exploded with the particularly NASDAQ and S&P 500 making huge moves. The Dow flittered. Did rally, but pretty pathetic close. I don't know why anybody keeps watching that index, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so we're going to start off with AI, which has been a real active stock of late, and we put a swing on it. Stock looks phenomenal here. It's 22.26, up about 25% today, and looking at resistance here that if it does get through, we might see something about, let's call it 27.5 would be a target for it if it does follow through. I'm incorrect. I did not put a swing on this one. AMD though, big day for it today. I'm going to take a look at something here. Okay, the stock which I've been talking about now for a while has built a nice base after multiple waves down, and the stock dropping nearly 100 points top to bottom, more than that actually, dropped from 166 to 164 all the way down to 55. And now bounced, pulled back, retested, and broke out again. Today was an exceptional day with a breakaway gap on volume of 152 million shares. That's the biggest volume on an update since May. And for me, it's a breakout day. I think the stock continues. I think the market is, even though it's a bit ahead of itself, the thrust that has taken this market on a breakout is not just a everyday thrust. It was a spectacular type one, and it came with good volume too. So for me and technicals, although they didn't have a chance to reverse like we would have liked them to, still they were, I thought, an excellent day in the market. And this in particular stock led the semiconductors up of 5% one day today. The SMH, which I'll show you in a moment, should be a chart of the day too. Look at the inverse head and shoulders type pattern on this thing, and now breaking through quadruple tops here, looking for an extension to 255. And then we're off to the races into the 280s, maybe. Well, we'll see. Look, the measure moved from there to there and up to there, gets us probably up to 265.70 anyway. So excellent chart. And let's move on. That's the SMH, and here's the AMD, and you can see how they both look good. And if you think that looks good, look at NVIDIA. A powerful move today, up another 14 points or 7%, but more importantly, on 66 million shares, and at the highest level since April of last year, breaking above a resistance level, and now leading to what I think could be 226. Now, this wasn't. This is very, very important move by a very high quality stock in the NASDAQ 100. So I think the semiconductor is going to lead the way here, although I think biotechs are going to pick up speed very quickly here, and that you might have a much bigger move coming up than you think. Now, if the market gets too far ahead of itself too fast, of course, you're going to get pullbacks and retests and stuff. But I don't think we're in a bear market anymore. I think that the move that came down from November of last year, no, the year before last, to the October lows, where most stocks bottomed, about a 11-month bear pattern that took 5 waves in most charts as well, almost perfect LA wave type stuff. And now we have a 1, 2, 3. Even if we peak out up here, we'll go 4 or 5 over the next few weeks. I think we shall see. But back to AMD, looking like a key breakout day for that one. Carvana is having an exceptional move here, folks. And although you can't see it right now after hours, let me add the 1-minute chart in. I'll show you something spectacular. Carvana's made it up to $17.17 after hours. Another, and it's pulled back a point, which would be, not a surprise. The stock went from 972 to 17, it doubled today. And it did it in 88 million shares. Now, Carvana is in a major short covering situation. I told you 2 weeks ago when it popped out with big volume and formed the coil, and the volume was a low volume ebb, and the moving averages crossed over, that it represented a real good opportunity for a short covering panic. Well, we got one there. The extension targets are about 20.5, 21, and maybe as high as 23.4, but I can't tell if it does that first before it pulls back. The stock's overbought. You can see the 1-minute chart after hours here. It is pulled down, but it is certainly powerful. What a day for Carvana. Okay, what you see now, what you think, folks, not what you hear, not what what the pundits are telling you. maybe what Harry's telling you. DADA. Chinese stocks are flying. This one's gone from 3 to 15 and change in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move, and yet it looks like it's setting up for another wave into the high teens. Can't tell yet. Just keep your stops on the Chinese stocks. And this one under 12, 12 and a quarter. DT, well, after a long base and a long decline, the DT may have broken out today. Dynatrace popped 38 to 45, finished 44.50 up 612, 16% gain on 10 million shares, the biggest volume on an up day that we can see here in years. I think that although it closed, it closed right on resistance, but I think the extension could take this one to the high 40s, maybe 49.50. EDU has been a swing trade of mine for months now. It looks really good and it continues to look good, adding another 271 or 6.4% today. Near the high gets through here, and that would be 46.63. I'm looking at 52 and 57. EPOW snapped back today. Conference call tomorrow. I'm hearing some real positive stuff may come out of it. We'll see. It was up 9% today. Low volume, 229,000, but it's thinly traded. Look at the consolidation this has been in since September, when it's been basically going between 2 3/4 and 4.5. If you can get it above 430 to 50 zone, you might see 6.5 and 7 going forward. That's a personal position of mine. GDS, another Chinese stock with a fantastic chart and a breakout. Let's just say that it needs to do a little bit more pushing above 27 to really get it going. Then your targets at 30 and 35. HUYA, yet another Chinese stock and a phenomenal uptrend, took a pop today. 533 to 643, closing 621, up 71 cents or 13%. It looks like it's headed for 7 3/4. Yet another in that group, IQ, running like the wind. Really strong chart. Despite the big pullback in January, it survived that. Now at a new closing high, going since November of 21. My target now is 8 and 10. JNUG, which I put out as a gold sector representative, we have Pan American Silver on the silver side, but JNUG really held support wonderfully today and spiked off of 41 1/4 to get up to 45 1/4. Last is 44.70, up 220 at 5%, but getting to 48 could get you to 54 and 58. KOLD, well, I don't know when this thing's going to stop, folks, but anytime a stock roars in 2 months from a little over 10 to 63.90, it's overbought. But the momentum is phenomenal, and the stock might very well see 80 before it's over. Nevertheless, the 3-day lows in here now represent support in the 51 and 90 to 52 zone. I want to stop under that. LABU may be coming on here. This is I think what I'm talking about in terms of biotechs coming on. LABU jumped from 802 to 887, finished 865, up at 30 cents or 3.5%. But and Yvonne picked up a little bit, 49 million shares. You can see that it might be coming out of this base, and if it does, it could spike to 9.5, 10 1/4, or even as high as 12 or 13. LI in the Chinese automotive sector and a day trader and a swing trade for the tech trader today had a nice day with a gap and pop up 167 or 6.7%, but it traded a solid 11 million shares. That is at resistance. We get through here, we're looking at 32, 33. Live person. Well, after a long decline and a nice base pattern, this one broke out today, and it did with 3.6 million. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a thin stock. Your next target, 17 3/4 and 20. NEO, stock I've liked for a long time, finally looking for this base to make the move. I think it's about ready, so I put a swing on it. 12.5, seeking 16 3/4 and 20.5, 21. NVDA, we showed you that earlier. Just a phenomenal stock and a leader in the semiconductor industry, up more than 15. OI Glass, formerly I think Owens, Illinois, the stock popping out to $2.60 or 13.5%. That's the highest level achieved in this stock since the beginning of 2018. This is a 5-year high, and I'm now looking for 25. Peloton, coming out of a base pattern after a long, long decline. I decided to put a swing on this today because of the volume, 82 million, the 27% gain, and how it closed too. I'm now looking for 20 and 24.5. RPD popped on potential takeover, but I just want to show you the chart. 11.5 million is very unusual volume for that stock on a breakout day, so it's worth watching. It appears this might be in the 60s and 70s before it's taken out. Shopify, a tech trader swing coming out of a nice base pattern, adding another 231 or 4.7%, 27.5 million shares. I think this might make it into, well, let's see. I'm looking for an extension to 58 and eventually 70 or better. SOXL, the Direxion Semiconductor Triple Bull ETF, we went long on a swing the other day, and today jumped to 17 up 248. I'm very pleased with the way that's acting. It is at the top of the channel, but the extension target says 19 and 21 3/4, maybe doable. Swing trade TGTX continues to add to the party, jumping to 1728. Last trading is 1671 up 148, or almost 10%. Volume picked up to 9 million plus. I like to look at this for a move to 20, 20.5 next target. Verifone breaking out of a long base after a long decline. Looks to me like today's action and a spike up to 1037, change of $1.92 or 23% on a day where the stock traded a couple million shares, which is good volume for that stock. Tells me we have more to go. Targets are 14 and 17. Check that, 14 and 18. Wayfair, another tech trader swing that looks great to me. I think the stock popped out of a base and is going to work its way higher. 74 and 87, 88 are targets. Terrific looking chart there. A leader in the Chinese sector. And finally, XM coming out of a base with a major breakaway gap on volume, and every day since it's continuing to trend. Near-term targets are 19 and then maybe 22.3. We shall see with that one too. And that's it for the techtrader.com charts of the day for February 1st.